So, good evening. Welcome to Byju's Exam Prep IS. So, we are taking up prelims 2024 test target prelims 2024, in which we have reached to government schemes today. So, today we'll take up the important government schemes that were in the news for the past 1 year. Obviously, we are taking up all those schemes, all those news in the form of questions and answers. So over here also, we'll take up all those important topics in the form of question and answers. So let's start with the questions. But before starting with the questions, let me give you one brief that how actually we should go about preparing this area for prelims examination. So when we talk about schemes, see, there are hundreds of such schemes run by Government of India. And obviously it is not practically possible to remember and recall in the examination hall each and every scheme. So it is not practical. So better we should devise some mechanism so that we are in position to at least manage few questions with respect to a scheme, right? So under schemes, there are few areas that one should not forget. One is that first thing is that its aim, its objectives, why a scheme has been formulated. That is the most important area that you cannot forget. So aims and objectives will tell you that why this particular scheme is running or run by Government of India. So aims and objectives, once you talk about it, you will definitely be in position to figure out the beneficiaries as well, to whom this scheme is running. So once you are trying to know what is the aim and objective of the scheme, automatically you would be getting the clue that this scheme is targeting this section of the society, and that section would be the beneficiary of that scheme. So that is first thing. Second thing about the scheme is you cannot also forget about implementing agency. When I say implementing agency, with respect to particular scheme, there might be some institutions involved. Some body has been given the responsibility to implement that scheme. Maybe a new body has been created. Altogether, a new body has been created. If a new body has been created, that is more and more important. Maybe nothing of this sort has been done. A major institution is not involved. Only a particular ministry, with the help of a committee, is doing the job. So then implementing agency, second thing that you should know about the scheme. Third important, most important rather, is the funding mechanism. Where from government gets the money? How do we implement with this scheme? Obviously we need money. So whether it is state or center, who is making the payment for this scheme? So for such mechanism, there are two terms being used by government. One is called central sector scheme, and another term used is called centrally sponsored schemes. So broadly, if you see, every scheme could be put under either as a central sector scheme or as a centrally sponsored scheme. A central sector scheme means when the funding comes from the union government as well as it is implemented by the union government. I said two things with respect to central sector scheme. One is that The funding is coming from the central government as well as it is being implemented by the central government. Second, another set of schemes which I am referring to as centrally sponsored scheme. Centrally sponsored scheme is implemented by the state government. It is always implemented by the state government, but funding fully or partially, please mind my word, fully or partially, funding might come from the central government. Central government might give the full funding to that scheme, or partially it is giving some funding and partially the funding is coming from the state government. Such schemes are known as centrally sponsored schemes. So having said all these things, having the knowledge of different types of schemes, now let's move to the questions, starting with question number 1. So again, if I reiterate my points, I said that we should focus on 3 things. One is the aim objective. Once you know about the aim and objective, you will always be in position to figure out the targeted community, the beneficiary. Second is the implementing agency, maybe some institution, maybe a new body has been created, maybe the ministry is doing that job with the help of a committee. Third thing I said, the funding mechanism, wherein I wanted to know whether the scheme is a central sector scheme or is it a centrally sponsored scheme. So once you look into these 3 areas with respect to a particular scheme, it is likely that most of the questions in the examination hall could be solved by knowledge of these 3 things about a scheme. Okay, now let's see the questions. Consider the following statements regarding one-stop center. So 3 statements are given. I'll give you 10 seconds. I'll read it for you and then I'll give you 10 seconds. You try and answer this question and then I'll give you the answer and the explanation for it as well. So it facilitates women affected by domestic violence. It provides a range of integrated services such as police facilitation, medical aid, legal services under one roof. It is administered under Nirbhaya Fund. So it is asking how many statements are correct. So you have 10 seconds. Let me see whether you are in position to answer this question or not. So the question is about one-stop center. It is a scheme related to empowerment of women. So it facilitates women affected by domestic violence. So this one-stop center is actually a platform, call it a window, which provides solution to the grievances of women suffering from any kind of violence. That violence could be of physical nature, psychological nature, sexual nature. So for any kind of violence against women, this one-stop center is there. So first statement makes sense. It provides a range of integrated services, makes sense also, that it will provide integrated services such as police facilitation. Obviously, the police will help in rescue and rehabilitation, providing shelter. Obviously, medical aid, legal aid, all those services would be given. So, makes sense. It is administered under Nirbhaya Fund. So, this scheme, along with, if you know, women helpline, along with this Mahila Police Scale, these 3 schemes are administered under Nirbhaya Fund. So all three statements are correct. So accordingly, it is looking for the correct statement. So all three are the correct statement. Is that okay? Now coming to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding Swadhar Greh scheme. Again, it is a centrally sponsored scheme. It aims to provide help to women victims in difficult circumstances. It provides institutional rehabilitation support to women victims. You have 10 seconds. Let's see. So, if you look at the scheme, this is a centrally sponsored scheme. Makes sense? If you look at Swadhar Greh scheme, again this scheme is related to women's empowerment. When women are in any kind of difficult situation that render them homeless, when women are in some kind of difficult situation that render them homeless, then this scheme comes into picture. So it is a centrally sponsored scheme, centrally sponsored as in the funding will come from the center and the state both, but the scheme would be implemented by the state government. So this statement is correct. It aims to provide help in difficult circumstances, makes sense. It provides institutional rehabilitation. I said that once the women would become homeless, so it will provide a rehabilitation center. So this is also correct. So all three appears to be right statements. Again, it is saying how many statements are correct. So all three statements are correct. Is that okay? Can we move further? Obviously, this scheme is to be implemented by Ministry of Women and Child Development. So three things I told you. First about the aims, second about the ministry, and third thing whether the scheme is central sector or centrally sponsored. So all three details I have given to you. With respect to this question, we have already discussed, but I did not tell you which ministry is implementing this scheme. So this one-stop center is implemented by Ministry of Women and Child Development. Again, is that okay? So both these schemes are related to Women Ministry. Coming to next question. Third question. With reference to Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana. Again, not a very new scheme. We have heard of this about this scheme many times. So let's see whether we are in position to solve this scheme or not. So you have 4 statements given. How many statements are correct statements? So you need to figure out the correct statements. How many are there? So again, you have few seconds. Let's see whether you are in position to solve it or not. So if we look at this scheme, Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana. If I give you a brief history of this scheme, you know that India is among the first newly independent nations in the world who implemented population control measures just after the independence. I said that India is among the first newly independent nations who were the first one to implement population control measures And you know the result of it. Today we are the largest in the world. So remember, imagine a scenario that the government would not have taken this initiative. So where would we would have been today? That is beyond imagination. Anyway, so in 1950s itself, government of India started with population control measures from the first 5-year plan itself. In 1976, Government of India came up with a comprehensive policy called National Population Policy. That was the first national population policy of India. Then in 2000, again, the second national population policy came into picture. In 2000, the present national population policy is the population policy of 2000. So obviously, it is a comprehensive legislation. It is a comprehensive legislation which has many immediate, medium term, and long term targets. This national population policy of 2000 has many immediate targets, for example, achieving MMR, reduction in MMR, IMR, all those targets. Then medium term targets were related to reaching the TFR to 2.1. Then long term target was stabilizing the population. So there are many targets relating to medium term, short term, and the long term. So government, in order to achieve these targets, started with integrated healthcare services. And under this integrated healthcare services, Government of India in 2005-06 launched Janani Suraksha Yojana. So Janani Suraksha Yojana was launched in 2005-06 with the intention of promoting institutional delivery. So once institutional delivery would be promoted, it is likely that the IMR would be reduced and accordingly the population would be controlled. Anyway, but problem was that despite government providing free institutional delivery, people, the women, especially women belonging to the poor section of the society, they were not willing to go to the hospitals. So government later on realized that these women were not willing to go to the hospitals. They are not going to the hospital because they are apprehensive of wage losses. They are losing upon the daily wages that they have been earning, because these are the women who belong to poor section of the society. They are dependent for their livelihood on the daily wages. So they were not willing to go to the hospital despite free institutional delivery service given by the government. So government, in order to compensate the wage losses on a daily basis, Government of India in 2010 started with another scheme called Indira Gandhi Matritva Sahyog Yojana. And that scheme, Indira Gandhi Matritva Sahyog Yojana, is today running in the name of Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana. So over here, the target is to compensate the wage losses. So if in a single line I have to say Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, it is a wage compensatory scheme. Can I say? It is a wage compensatory scheme. Right? Now let's see the things. It is a central sector scheme. It is a centrally sponsored scheme. It is a centrally sponsored scheme. However, 100% funding comes from center. I told you that there might be certain centrally sponsored scheme where 100% funding might come from the center, or there might be partial division between center and the state. So this is one scheme where the 100% funding is coming from the central government. But even then, it is a centrally sponsored scheme. It is not central sector scheme because it is being implemented by the states. Excuse me. So first statement is incorrect. It is available to all pregnant women and lactating mothers. See, it is available to pregnant women and lactating mothers only up to 2 children. So it cannot be all. So again, second statement is also incorrect. So it is this scheme is only available up to 2 children. For more than 2 children, this scheme won't be available. Anyway, under this scheme, the eligible beneficiary is given rupees 5,000. Makes sense? Yes. Rupees 5,000 is given in 3 installments. So third statement is correct statement. It is a conditional cash transfer. I said that not to all the women this scheme is applicable. So it is a conditional cash transfer given in installments. So 3 and 4 statement are correct. So it is saying how many statements are correct. So only 2 statements are correct. So B for Bombay is the right answer. I hope it is clear. Okay, coming to next question. Consider the following statements regarding PM Shram Yogi Man Dhan Yojana. It is a pension scheme. The beneficiaries include shopkeepers or owners who have small shops, hotels, restaurants with annual turnover less than 1.5 crore. The beneficiaries are entitled for an assured monthly pension of rupees 3,000 per month after 60 years of age. So just tell me the answer to this question. It is a very recent scheme. Okay. So PM Shram Yogi Man Dhan Yojana. It is a pension scheme. So yes, this is scheme. It is a pension scheme wherein it is contributory in nature. Contributory in nature. It means that the person who wants to take the benefit of pension after retirement after 60 years of age, they have to contribute initially. So it is contributory in nature. So obviously it becomes voluntary in nature, whether you want to opt for this scheme or not. So it is a pension scheme, also contributory in nature as well as voluntary in nature. So first statement is correct. So this scheme, which is a pension scheme, is for the unorganized sector. We know that unorganized sector has many problems. The most important one being there is no job security, there is no income security, there is no pension security. So government, in order to ensure that people after 65 years get some amount of assured income in the form of pension. So unorganized sector, for example, the street vendors, hawkers, rat pickers, rickshaw pullers. For all these people, this scheme is valid. The second point, the beneficiary include shopkeepers and owners. For shopkeepers and owners, there is another scheme called NPS, National Pension Schemes for Traders and the Owners. So this scheme is Shram Yogi Mandhan scheme is not for the owners and the shopkeepers. So this goes incorrect. The beneficiaries are entitled for assured monthly pension of rupees 3,000. Yes, let's look into the eligibility of this scheme. If I talk about eligibility of this scheme, so first thing that you should be Indian, You should be Indian citizen. Your age group should be between 18 to 40 years. If you fall in the age group of 18 to 40 years and you are involved in unorganized sector making monthly income less than 15,000, then you are eligible for this scheme. Is that okay? So these are the conditions to decide the eligibility of the beneficiary. I hope it is okay. So question is, how many statements are correct? So if you look at statement number 1 is correct, statement number 2 is incorrect, statement number 3 is correct. So 2 statements are correct. So B for Bombay is the right option. Okay. Now the next question. Kabir Puraskar scheme provides award to armed personals deployed in communal riots. So if you know about this scheme, Kabir Puraskar, this scheme started way back in 1990 when India was under the grip of communal violence almost in many parts of the country. Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir, North India. So in many parts the problem of communal riot was there. So then government of India, in order to seek the help of the citizens in controlling the riots, started with a scheme called Kabir Puraskar scheme. That scheme is run even today. So Kabir Puraskar scheme is not for the armed personnel, it is for the citizens who help in controlling riots. So it is not for the armed personnel. So first thing, it is related to communal riot, but not for the armed personnel. So this goes incorrect. The award is given by the respective states? No. The award is given by the central government. Is that okay? So statement 2 is correct. Select the correct answer using the code given below. So 1 is incorrect. So B for Bombay. Is that okay? Okay. Now see the next question. Consider the following statements regarding PM Vikas scheme. So Pradhan Mantri Vikas scheme. Let's see the scheme. There are 3 statements. Take 10-second time. Tell me the answer. So it is a scheme under Ministry of Labor and Employment. The scheme focuses upon skilling and inculcating a sense of entrepreneurship. The scheme targets minorities and artisan communities across the country. So you must have heard of Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Obviously, it is not the same scheme, but it is somewhat similar scheme. So under Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, government targets to develop skills so that people could be provided with proper entrepreneurship skills. Right? Similarly, this PM Vikas Yojana targets minorities and the artisan community in the country by providing them required skill set, by upgrading their skill set. They are already having certain skill sets. By upgrading their skill set, by providing them access to markets, by helping them in branding, all these things, Government of India targets to improve the economic opportunities for minorities and the artisan community through PM Vikas scheme. So, third statement makes correct. So, aim is clear. The scheme focuses upon skilling. Again, from the aim it is clear. So, second is correct. Third is correct. The ministry is the minority ministry, sir. It is not the labor and employment ministry. Rather, it is the ministry of minority. Is that okay? So, this goes wrong. Second and third is correct. So, how many statements are correct? So, the correct statements would be, sorry, this should be B. So, the correct statements are 2. B for Bombay. 2 statements are correct statements. Can we move further? This is again if you want to know the nature of this scheme, this is a central sector scheme. So if you want to remember the third fact, I told you the aim, the implementing agency, and the nature, whether the about the funding mechanism. So it is a central sector scheme, wherein the 100% funding will come from the central government and will be implemented by the central government itself. Is that okay? Okay, next question. Next question is a very recent scheme about PM Vishwakarma scheme. PM Vishwakarma. It is a central sector scheme. It provides end-to-end support to artisans and craftsmen. It has been launched by Ministry of Labor. A very recent scheme. Tell me the answer to this question. You have 10 seconds. Okay, let's see this scheme. So this PM Vishwakarma scheme was launched on Vishwakarma Divas by Prime Minister Modi, wherein our Prime Minister talked about improving the economic conditions of Vishwakarma community. How do we improve the economic conditions? By providing economic opportunities, by creating avenues for economic opportunities. Make sense? Now let's see the scheme. It is a central sector scheme. Yes, it is a central sector scheme. The 100% funding will come from central government and it would be implemented by central government. True. So, funding as well as implementation, both the job will be done by central government. So, it is a central sector scheme. It provides end-to-end support to artisans and craftsmen. Obviously, once you're trying to provide economic opportunities, you have to provide end-to-end support. End-to-end support matlab means that from the starting, from procurement of raw material till the excess of market. In everything, this support would be provided. The loan would be given, marketing would be done, branding will be done by the government. So all these facilities would be provided by the government in order to ensure that their economic conditions improve. So second is also correct. First was already correct. It has been launched by Ministry of Labor. No, it has been launched by MSME, Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, along with Ministry of Finance is also the implementing agency, as well as Ministry of Skill Development. So there are 3 ministries involved in the implementation of this scheme. The nodal ministry is MSME, but 3 ministries are involved in implementing this scheme. So I hope it is clear. The aim is clear. The implementing agencies are clear. 3 ministries are involved. And then the funding nature is also clear. It is a central sector scheme. So accordingly, the correct option would be D for Delhi. 1, 2, and 3. All 3 are no. I'm sorry. Third statement is correct. Incorrect. So the answer to this question would be 1 and 2. Do we have any option? 1 and 2 as option. So 1 and 2 is not given the option. So if I correct these options, so it would be 1 and if I make C 1 and 2, so C becomes the right answer. Is that okay? So just need to make certain changes in the options. You should know that it is a central sector scheme and accordingly. Okay, come to question number 3. Next question. Consider the following statements. PM Janjatiya Vikas Mission aims for promoting tribal livelihood. Pradhan Mantri Janjatiya Vikas Mission. So again, we are talking about a scheme, a Janjatiya scheme. Obviously, name itself makes it clear that it is related to tribal affairs, and it also aims for improving the economic conditions of tribal community. We know that tribal community, their economy mainly revolves around the forest. In the forest, they go for slash and burn cultivation. That is the kind of agriculture they practice, which is also called jhum cultivation in India. And another important source of income for them is minor forest produce, MFP. So through this scheme, Janjatiya Vikas Mission, Government of India is targeting this minor forest produce, its marketing, its branding, providing it some institutional support, providing it MSP, minimum support price. By doing all these things, Government of India through this scheme is ensuring improvement in the economic conditions of the tribal community. So first statement makes sense. It is aiming for promoting tribal livelihood. Make sense? Yes. So first is correct. TriFed, yes. The nodal implementing agency is TriFed. TriFed, if you know, stands for Tribal Cooperative Marketing Federation of India. So TriFed is the nodal agency for implementation of this scheme. So both these statements are correct. Accordingly, the answer is C for Chennai. Just read it once. I hope the question is okay. Obviously, this TriFed is under Ministry of Tribal Affairs. So if at all it says that which ministry is implementing it, so it is the Tribal Affairs. Third thing, it is a central sector scheme. This scheme is also a central sector scheme. Okay. Can we move to the next question? All right. Consider the following statements regarding PM Kisan Samman Nidhi. Again, a scheme which was highly in news. So let's see whether you are in position to solve this question or not. You have 10 seconds. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme. Okay. So it is a scheme launched by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So before that, what is the aim of the scheme? The aim of the scheme is providing secured financial support to farmers. How much? Rupees 6,000 to be given in the installments. So in 3 installments the money would be given. So every 4 months you will get rupees around 2,000. So aim is to provide a secured income, a secured financial support to the farmers of rupees 6,000. That is the aim of the Samman Nidhi scheme. The implementing ministry is Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. That is correct. It is a centrally sponsored, no, it is a central sector scheme. This scheme is directly implemented by the union government. Directly you will get the amount in your account. The state government is not involved in this scheme. The money is transferred to the beneficiaries through DBT. Yes. So 1 and 3 are the right options. So how many statements are correct? 2 are correct. So B for Bombay. Is that okay? So I hope many of you would have got this correct. An easy question. Next question. Which of the following statements is or are correct regarding National Food Security Act? So, not a new scheme. This National Food Security Act is an act of 2013, but remains in news for a number of reasons. Let's see. So, what is the aim of this act? As the name suggests, it aims for providing food security, food and nutritional security. Yes. So broadly, the scheme aims for providing food security. How do they provide food security? By providing food grains at subsidized rate. At subsidized rates. So you know that rice is availed at rupees 3 per kg, wheat rupees 2 per kg, another course cereals rupees 1 per kg. So accordingly, food grains are available at subsidized rate. This is how Government of India ensures food security to the large section of the population. 75% of the population in rural areas and 50% of the population in urban areas. Okay, so that is the target of the scheme. That is such a big target of the scheme. It aims to increase the production of the food grains. No, it does not aim to increase the production. For increasing the production of the scheme, there is another scheme having similar name called National Food Security Mission, which was launched in 2006-7. So Mission of 2007 is the scheme for increasing the production of the food grains. this scheme is not targeting increasing the production of the food grains. So this goes incorrect. It is a centrally sponsored scheme. Yes. So accordingly, it is saying which one is correct. So this scheme, it is a centrally sponsored scheme. It is a central sector scheme, not. It is said to be a central sector scheme, not centrally sponsored scheme. This scheme is implemented by union government. Yes, certain help is taken, but it is being implemented by the union government. So it is a central sector scheme. All right. So accordingly, this is correct. This is in both are incorrect. So D for Delhi is the right answer to this question. Is that okay? Which ministry it should be, if at all you want to write? Which ministry it should be? So the ministry is Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Distribution. So basically, Consumer Affairs Ministry is the ministry under which this act would be implemented. Okay, moving to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding electric mobility promotion scheme. Consider the following statements regarding electric mobility promotion scheme. Again, a new scheme, very new scheme, launched in 2023 or 24. So it is a scheme for promotion of use of four-wheeler electric vehicles. So if you know, as the name suggests that obviously it aims to promote the use and manufacture of electric vehicles. But what type of electric vehicles? Electric vehicles could be two-wheeler, three-wheeled, and it could be four-wheeler. So which one it is catering to? So it is not catering to the four-wheelers. So this goes incorrect. Four-wheeler vehicles are not covered under this scheme. It covers two-wheelers and three-wheelers. So it is incorrect. First is incorrect. It has been launched by Ministry of Electronics and it has been launched by Ministry of Heavy Industries. Ministry of Heavy Industries. It is Ministry of Heavy Industries, not the. So second is also incorrect. Excuse me. Is it okay? It is a central sector scheme. It is a centrally sponsored scheme. It is a centrally sponsored scheme. So it is also correct, incorrect. So how many statements are correct? None. D for Delhi. D for Delhi. Is that okay? So do tell me how many of you are getting the correct answers. Till now, how many questions have you got correct? Just comment. We'll see later on. Come to the next question. With reference to Deen Dayal Antyodaya National Urban Livelihood Mission. Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Urban Livelihood Mission. There is similar scheme, National Rural Livelihood Mission, but this one is National Urban Livelihood Mission. So, as the name itself is clear, it aims for ensuring livelihood sources, urban livelihood sources. It aims for creating livelihood avenues. How can we do that? We can do that by creating avenues for self-employment, or through wage employment generation. Broadly, these two methods could be resorted to in order to create a secured livelihood source. So, under this scheme, Government of India focuses upon providing self-employment opportunities by focusing upon creation of self-help groups, especially involving women. So in this scheme, the target is to create large number of self-help groups by including women so that a permanent livelihood source and an alternative source of income could be created. So now let's see the scheme. It aims for providing meaningful employment to urban poor. Make sense? Meaningful employment? Yes? I'm sorry. It covers all towns with a population equal to or more than 1 lakh. That is correct. So that is the minimum population that is needed to implement this scheme. It emphasizes upon formation of self-help groups. Correct? So all three are correct. D for Delhi is the right answer. Obviously, if I talk about the ministry, it is the Ministry of Urban Affairs. It is the Ministry of Urban Affairs and it is a centrally sponsored scheme. So do write these things in your notes. You do not know what would be the question. Okay, moving to the next question. Again, giving you 10 seconds, 10-15 seconds. Atal Bhujal Yojana. Atal Bhujal Yojana. So Bhujal means groundwater. So by the name itself, it makes sense that it is trying to manage and conserve groundwater. The scheme aims for managing and conserving the groundwater. We know for a number of reasons the groundwater is depleting. So this scheme will aim for managing the sustainable use of the groundwater. So that would be the aim. The ministry which is implementing this scheme is Ministry of Jal Shakti. Heard of this ministry? This name has been a new name given by this government only. And then the scheme is a central sector scheme. And the most important thing is that it receives funding from World Bank. It receives funding, financial support from World Bank. So these are the few things that you should know about this scheme. Let's see the question. Atal Bhujal has been launched by Housing and Urban Affairs, so it goes wrong. It aims for improving groundwater management through community participation. Yes, makes sense. The local community participation will always be helpful in conservation efforts. So, makes sense. It is funded by IMF. No, it is not IMF, it is World Bank. Always remember that if at all in any scheme, any international support is there, that is the most potent line for the examination, for the prelims examination. So if at all any scheme receives any financial support from some international organization, do remember that line for that scheme. Okay. So accordingly, first is incorrect, second is correct, third is incorrect. So which of these statements are correct? So only two is correct. So A for Ahmedabad is the right answer. Can we move forward? Okay. Next. Which of the following statements regarding Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana is or are correct? Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. Not a very new scheme, but remains in news for a number of reasons. Let's see. It is a part of Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme. Yes, it is true. Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme aims for improving educational and economic status of girl child. Obviously, it also aims for reduction in female mortality at the time of birth. Yes. So, part of this scheme is Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. Let's see what this scheme is doing. So, Sukanya under this scheme, when the girl child is less than 10 years of age, her account could be opened some bank and a deposit ranging from rupees 250 to 1.5 lakh could be made, and upon this deposit, Government of India will provide a secured interest of 8.2%, which is a very high interest. If you see, normally the banks provide an interest of around 3 to 4%. So over here, the Government of India guarantees for 8%, more than 8% interest in an account which is meant only for the girl child up to 10 years of age. So this amount could be used later on after the girl child becomes of 18 years for obviously meeting different kind of expenses, meeting different expenses. Right? So this is the aim of the scheme, Sukanya Samriddhi scheme. So that is why I said Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme, educational and economic status of the girl child along with reduction in mortality. Okay. So first is correct. It aims to provide financial security. Yes, this is the financial security that we are trying to provide to the girl children once they become adult after 18 years. Yes. It is launched by Ministry of Women and Child. See, Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme has been launched by Ministry of Women and Child Development. But this Sukanya scheme has been launched by Ministry of Finance. So you need to pay attention over here that Beti Bachao Beti Padhao is the scheme under Ministry of Women and Child Development. But Sukanya Samriddhi scheme is a scheme under Finance Ministry, Department of Economic Affairs. Is that okay? So accordingly, look at the options. First is correct, second is correct, third is incorrect. So answer is A for Ahmedabad. 1 and 2 are the correct ones. Is that okay? Okay, next question. Which of the following statements regarding PM Swanidhi scheme is correct? PM Swanidhi. So, Nidhi is related to money. Over here, under this scheme, Government of India is trying to provide some financial support to unorganized sectors businesses. So this is the aim of the scheme. So through this scheme, this Swanidhi scheme, Government of India provides financial support to the business related to unorganized sector. A recent scheme wherein the government provides somewhere around 10,000 and maximum up to 20,000 rupees for undertaking some business of unorganized nature. Okay, so it provides collateral free loans. That is true. Collateral is not needed. So it is a collateral free loan to street hawkers in urban areas as well as in the rural areas. Makes sense. In both the areas, it provides loan. It is a central sector scheme. Yes, it is a central sector scheme. Its implementing agency is SIDBI. Its implementing agency is, yes, Small Industries Development Bank of India. SIDBI, Small Industries Development Bank of India. So statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is correct, statement 3 is correct. So it provides the loan to the urban areas as well as the nearby rural areas, semi-rural or rural areas. Is that okay? So accordingly, D for Delhi is the right answer to this question. Obviously, if you look at the ministry of this, the ministry would be Ministry of Urban Affairs, Housing and Urban Affairs. Okay. With reference to Amrut scheme, Amrut stands for Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. From the name itself, a lot of clarity will come. Its aim will come up. Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. So what kind of rejuvenation and urban transformation you want? So all the problems that exist in the urban areas, you will look for resolving all those problems, maybe problem related to basic services as in transport, electricity, water supply, education. It could be related to waste management. It might be related to recreational facilities. It might be related to transport, anything, no? So now let's see the scheme. So it says that It was launched in 2010. See, you should not remember the year, but at least you should know that this scheme was launched by the Modi government. So Modi government came in 2014, so it cannot be 2010. So it has to be after that, right? So to answer to this question, the scheme was launched in 2015, right? It aims to improve urban living. Yes, makes sense. It aims to improve the urban living. Amrut 2.0, the some second phase of Amrut has been launched with a special focus on providing universal drinking water supply via tap. So makes sense. Third is also correct. So one is incorrect, second is correct, third is correct. So accordingly, how many statements are correct? So two are correct. So answer is B for Bombay. So two statements are correct. Okay, B for Bombay. Next question. Which of the following nutrients have been included under soil health card? Again, a scheme which was highly talked about. So it is saying ki, what are the different parameters which are included when a soil health card is prepared? So we know that this scheme, soil health card, is a scheme which aims to cater information about the health of soil. And how do we get to know about the health of soil? By getting the information about the physical features of soil, for example, its pH, its electrical conductivity, its what do I say? Its organic matter. By knowing about the major nutrients present in the soil, major nutrients include nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Then the micronutrients which are very important for the growth of plants. So for example, sulfur, which is also in the scheme, it is known as secondary nutrient. Sulfur in the scheme is given the name of secondary nutrient, but for us, sulfur, zinc, copper, ferrous, boron, all these things are there. And last one is manganese. So these many parameters have been calculated in the soil health card. So now let's see the options. Sulfur, yes. Zinc, yes. Nitrogen, yes. Phosphorus, yes. So do remember this in this group only. It would be easier to remember. Moreover, there might be questions based on which of them are the major nutrients, minor nutrients, or accordingly, mixing it with the knowledge of geography. So D for Delhi. Is that okay? Okay. What is the purpose of production linked scheme, PLI scheme? Production linked incentive scheme, right? PLI, production linked incentive scheme. So very easy question, remains highly in news for a number of reasons every now and then. So I'll just give you 10 seconds. Just tell me the answer. So it is related to agriculture sector? No. The sector is related to yes. It aims for boosting the manufacturing sector production. So it provides incentive based on the performance. and it aims to strengthen the manufacturing sector, not all sector. The scheme has been formulated to boost the manufacturing sector. So accordingly, B for Bombay is the right answer to this question. Okay, next question. Yeah. Which of the following groups are included under Poshan Abhiyan? Under Poshan Abhiyan. So, Poshan Abhiyan, Poshan is a Hindi term, means nutrition. So obviously, as the name suggests, it aims for providing nutritional security. It aims for providing nutritional security. So, nutritional security to whom? To 4 categories. First category is children in the age group of 0 to 6 years. Do remember the age group as well over here, although it is not the question. It could be a question. 0 to 6 years. Adolescent in the age group of 14 to 18 years. This scheme considers the girls to be in the adolescent stage in the age group of 14 to 18 years. Okay. Pregnant women, yes. Lactating mothers, yes. So these are the 4 categories to whom it aims to provide nutritional security. This is not the category given under the scheme. So the correct answer would be 1, 2, 3, 4. B for Bombay. Okay, so I hope Poshan scheme is clear. Yes. So very famous scheme. You tell me about the 2 things. The ministry in the comment section. Which ministry is it? And about the funding mechanism. The nature of funding mechanism. Whether it is centrally sponsored scheme or it is centrally sector scheme. You tell me that. What is it? Okay. Coming to the next question, the last question of the day. Consider the following statements regarding Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Again, a very important scheme, but not a very new scheme, but remains in the newspaper for a number of reasons. We know that in India, the insurance penetration is very poor. In fact, insurance penetration with respect to humans is poor. So, with respect to crops, it is extremely poor. With respect to crops, it is extremely poor. So, this question is related to providing some insurance support to the crops, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, right? So, it is a scheme which covers Kharif crop, Rabi crop, Jaid crops. So, if you see, it covers all kinds of crops. For the Kharif crop, the premium is 2%. For Rabi crop, the premium is 1.5%. And for Jaid crops, which are horticulture crops and commercial crops, it does not say actually the word Jaid crop. It says the horticultural crops and the commercial crops. But we know that horticultural crops are Jaid crops. Over here, the premium is 5%. So this much premium, this low is the premium to be paid by the farmers, and the balance amount is paid by the government. So first is correct. It is mandatory of the lonely farmers to avail the scheme. So till 2020, when this scheme was started, till 2020, this was the rule that if you avail some kind of Kisan credit loan, So it becomes mandatory to avail the this Fasal Bima Yojana. But after 2020, it is not mandatory, rather it has been made optional. So this goes incorrect. So today it is not mandatory. In the beginning it was mandatory. So which of these statements are correct? So only one is correct. A for Ahmedabad is the right answer to this question. So this was all for the government schemes. Thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you and have a great day. Thank you.